Oh, welcome back. Vector graphics, Adobe Illustrator. Let's check it out. I believe we're in session 9. 10 out of 16. We're cruising along. Yeah. So we're back to the standards, into which we will do, the lettering, the typographic challenge, and then the design mission. As I do every third one or so, we do a switch out. So we're back. So first thing, make sure you do your attendance, as we talk about every time. You can look them up, do it however you need to do it. What does brand identity include? Oh, it's visual elements representing a brand. That's what it is. Brand identity is more than just the logo. It is color. It is photography style. It is typography. It is layout design. There's a ton of stuff that goes into brand identity. It is not just a logo. So it is far more than that. So make sure you turn that in, as that is how I record attendance for the course. Mid-session project reviews. Again, use this. Send me your stuff. I'll check it out before you turn it in. Let you know if you're in the right direction, doing good, doing great, or if some things you can fix. Make sure you do that. Lettering expressions. All right, what are our words? Words and type. All right, sans serif. And we got some good ones. Falling, breaking, and leaning. Oh, this is going to be easy. Let's do it. 3x2. Let's set it up as we set up all our files, and then you should always set up professionally. Why is everything glitching? It is. There's something that's not letting me open up two windows. Illustrator and this. All right, well, I'll just go with it. New file. 3x2, I'll just double check that. Like I said, something's going on in my system. 3x2, that it's not letting me have two things open at once. 3 inches wide by 2 inches tall. Let's scroll on down. 1/4 inch bleed, we always do that. More settings. I want 3 artboards, not 6. That was a demonstration from earlier on. I do in a row horizontal with 1 inch spacing, and then we create the document. Next up, we're going to create our, you know what? Something's sticking. I think that's what it is. Good. I think I have a button that's sticking and making my computer do weird stuff. That looks better. All right, so we make our margin. Thank you for that little stop. Margin, as we always do every single time, and this is going to be a 1/2 inch smaller, so it will be 2.5 by 1.5. What do we do? No fill. You got to learn, like, when you want to fill things, when you want to stroke, when you don't. It's just something you should always do every time, and just kind of understanding what's the fill, what's the stroke, what do I want? You're in control. The computer is not in control. You are in complete control. And just because the computer does something, it's always based on what you've done previously. So you always got to look and change stuff. It's just part of the process. So we will copy and then edit, paste on all artboards. We've got that going on. I'm going to turn on my ruler, and I'm going to divide out my artboards. I'm going to put one down there. I'm going to redo that one because I slipped. There we go. Get them as perfect as can be. That's the margin, and we make sure we turn our margin into a template. That's the biggest forgetter. You'll know when you make that PDF if you didn't do it, and then you just go back and you fix it. Just like any kind of assignment, if you see something that's wrong, you don't just turn it in, you fix it and then you turn it in. It gets even more imperative when you're in the professional design business. You just don't let something go. Clients will think you're crazy and be like, why didn't they fix this before sending it to us? We should use somebody else. And that's the last thing you want to hear. So I made a square the size of the artboard. I made sure it had no fill, no stroke. Then I go to effects and I click on the crop marks and we do a copy, edit, paste on all artboards. There we are. We have that all set up and going. And then I'm going to do one layer and call it type. For that, let's see if I shut off the thing that was going wrong. Let's see if yeah, 2 are open. All right. Let's see here. Falling. I'll do 1. Sans serif. So I'm going to type out, I always do all uppercase. Let's do all lowercase for once. You know, switch it up. Try new things, try different things. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to pick a different font that is not the standard font that we have. Oh, this is all uppercase, though. Let's go way low. Oh, I saw one streak on by, and I wanted it, but it was too fast. Oh, this is fun. Sans serif. There's sans. All right. Then I go to type and create outlines, and then object, ungroup. Why do I do all this work? Because it makes it adjusting the type so much more fun. I can do whatever I want now, and I'm not restricted to what the computer is just doing. Oh, so I'm going to actually, I just changed my mind. I was going to do the standard falling, which I think everybody knows. Let's make sure that top of the eye. Oh, I got 2. I got 2 for falling already. Let's get this. I'm going to make it all smaller. So we can do the domino one, which is the first one. Oh, you know what? I'll do, and then this one, we'll do even more over, down. And like this one fell onto this one, right? That's what we're going for. I'm doing a combo now. And I want these touching, so it's like dominoes. And then I'm going to bring this in. Now I'm going to turn it up. So I'm going to zoom in. So always work closer. Don't always work so far away. Get this stuff big on your screen. This is huge. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm working off this domino thing, but I want this one hitting. I want it hitting here, like bonk. This one fell already, so I'm actually going to put it over here. I want a little bit more turn on it. All right, and then it's not the end. I'm going to make them bigger. I'm going to fill the. I'm going to spill it. I'm going to fill it from margin to margin. All right, and then I'm going to ungroup the eye. And this is like one of those like. Why can't I ungroup it? I have to go to compound path. So ungroup isn't showing up, but there's 2 items here. That means that the computer somehow did something else. And so I have to look for a different way to get the top of the eye. And so instead of like, oh, it doesn't have it, there's 2 things to always check. Always check clipping mask and compound path. If I go to compound path and I say release, now that's separated out. So it was part of a bigger picture thing, and the computer, because it wasn't told to separate everything out as we would in our minds, I had to do one more step. It's not a big deal. It's just you have to look for those things. How come this isn't working? Well, then we say like, well, just try something else. And then this is going to be down here. I don't know why I'm turning it, because it's slightly oval. Actually, it would be even better if I just put it on the bottom. Like I'm going past the margin, so it's going to look like it's sitting and like rolling away. That's what I'm going for. So my falling is the L's fell into the I, knocked off the top of the I, the dot, the pip. Actually, I think the top of the I is called a pip. I'm not 100% sure. So have some fun. We know how to do these. The more you do these, I want to see more creative ones. There's like, think about the word, how you can move it, manipulate it to have this word be defined by the word itself. And because you've been doing this, I've done this. What is this? This is 10 minus 2. This is like your 8th time. You got this down pat. So the more you do it, then you start reaching for creativity. Like I know how to do margin. I know how to do the crop marks. I know how to type out the word. I know how to make it big and then hit go to object or type and create outlines. Well, now is the time to start like having some fun. And these should take you 10 minutes a piece. Like I've done this one and it was literally maybe like 10 minutes, not even. And I work a little bit quicker, maybe 15 minutes a piece, but have some fun. The 3 words again for this. Oh, where did that go? Wrong one. Too many windows open. Oh, cancel. Leave. There it is. Behind. All right. Sorry. Falling, breaking, leaning. Have some fun with these. Be creative. Start to push that creativity. You know how to use Illustrator, and this is its basic parts. And then, also I'm going to say like you can play with the typography too. If you see something you want to make a part of a letter longer or shorter, like do it. Like you can do stuff like that where you just grab with that direct select tool and just grab some points and do weird stuff. I turned that A into a D. It's not what I want to do, but you understand, like push that, start using all those little tools that we talk about and have some fun. It's 3 words. It should be fairly quick and kind of push you. Like I got excited. Like I did the one and I had like 4 ideas. Here's a combo of 2 and I've got more ideas. And that's how it works. Creativity builds. The more you do creative stuff, the more creative you become. It is practicing. This is the creative life. All those, wonderful people we see, there I reference something like the Super Bowl and the halftime show. For the Super Bowl, those people practice the sport every day, all the time. The halftime show, Bad Bunny practices his stuff every day, all the time. He's just not naturally good. He practices. They practice. How do you get good at design? Practice. If you just practice once an hour, the person practicing 5 hours a week is going to do way better than you. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's all about practice. I'm constantly on my computer designing, if not for myself, just for working on weird projects. Like I'm always doing stuff. All right, typographical challenges. Let's see if we can reset this. What's our book? Of Mice and Men. Let's look up that. book cover. Let's see if I can find inspiration. So I go of Mice and Men book cover. I go to images. I go to tools. I go to size, and I make sure it's on large. I don't want a fuzzy picture. Let's look. Let's look. I'm just stalling because it's all this one. Is this like a new cover? I don't like that cover that much. But maybe I'll go with it anyway. I'll go with it. Why didn't it pop up over here? There you go. I'll just go with it. So I'm going to save the image as, and I'm going to save it to my desktop. And it's called Of Mice and Men 2. Great. Save it. I know where it is. I know it's on my desktop. Next up, I'm going to create that document. And our document this time around is 4 by 6. All right. So I'm going to create File, New. And I'm going to go 4, tab 6, 4 by 6, 1/4 inch. I'm going to scroll down to more settings. I want 3 artboards, 1 inch space, all the way across, 4 by 6. Everything is there. I'm going to create that document. I am going to start with my margin layer. Let's make this 4, so it's 3.5 by 5.5. I want to make sure there's no fill. I started new, so the computer thinks everything Joel wants to draw is going to have a white fill and a black stroke. No, nothing I ever do is going to be like that. I'm sorry to say. I don't think I ever design anything that has a white fill with a black stroke. I can't remember the last time I've ever done anything like that. I don't know why it's the default. Then we're going to make sure it's perfectly centered on that artboard. We are going to copy it. We are going to go to Edit, Paste on all artboards. I'm going to turn on my ruler, and I'm going to drag my guide so I know my center marks. If we flub it like that, we just do it again. Take your time. And again, you're doing this for the 15th time at least. For this class, you should know how to do this. The margin gets set as a template, so it doesn't show up on those PDFs, but the printer who needs to see it can see it and check your work. I just did something. I just downloaded, I think I may have talked about it. I'm working on updating some playing cards for a game, and I downloaded the document from the printer, and it had all these already put in, but they didn't template anything. They just asked you to remove it. And I was like, that's dumb because I need to keep them in. So I'm turning it to a template. So the printer wasn't as sophisticated as you all are for setting that up. Now I go and I make my crop marks box. We want to make sure it's 4 by 6, no fill, no stroke, FX. Crop marks, there they are. We are going to copy. We are going to go to Edit, Paste on all artboards. Wonderfully done. We are going to make our other layers now. And I'll pull this down with the layers. Just move as you need. One is body copy. One will be title author. And one will be images. All right, so we got that. I'm going to immediately bring in my image so I don't forget. So I can just, I'm on my image layer. It's in blue. Go to File. Oh, wait, I'll add that one last layer, background, that we can start adding if you are so inclined to really push your creativity. File. So to place the image, I'm on the image. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Place. I'm going to find on my desktop Of Mice and Men. Place it. There we are. Now I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to hold down Shift. Make sure I don't change the size of it. And I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go paste. I pasted twice. It just, when you paste the second time, it just puts it blank in the middle. That just means I'm done with those. And now I can start the designing. So I'm going to go title and author. Title is Of Mice and Men. The author is John Steinbeck. So I'm just grabbing that straight from my document. For the typography, for the title and author, we are going to use point type, which means I just click and paste. I'm going to get John Steinbeck over here. Copy. Click once and paste. Now, what I like to do when I'm working is I will move things over. And for the body copy, just so I'm not copying and pasting a bunch of times, I'm going to copy. And then what do we do for body copy? We do this type tool and we make a box and we just paste right into that. So that's all set. Now I can take this. I have everything I need to start playing around. We want titles. So let's work on the title. Let's do a background too. Start with the background. I always like to pull from what they have going on here. But we have to think, you know, so what if I do this darkest brown and I create a background and I go all the way out to that bleed, right? We never stop short at the artboard edge. We want to make sure that we correctly do it. So when we crop it, there's color all the way to the edge. So that color is the color of those dark mountains. And then this is my design thought process. Then for the title and author, these will be bold, but I'm going to do the color of their mice and men. But then I'm going to change the font. And let's do that. So I'm going to do this and I can move them. And let's say I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to make that like that. And maybe for the first one, I want to move my image up. And I want John Steinbeck to be the exact size of the image. And I'm going to bring it right down to that margin. And I'm going to keep that space. Remember, we always talk about having that gap around everything so that when I create, I'm going to create a new text box. I'm going to make sure that there's an equal gap. We never, look how good that gap is. We never put stuff right up to that image. Now for this text box, I select both boxes. I'm going to use that transform tool and just grow them into one. I could take my type, select all that. So I just triple clicked. Oops.
Command A, right?
It's, yep, Command A, or there is the 3. So once just kind of puts the cursor. Two clicks will select the word. 3 clicks, 1, 2, 3, will select all of the type. You kind of get used to it. I think that's a universal selection, is 1 tap puts down the cursor wherever you want to type. 2 taps selects the word. 3 taps selects the paragraph. So just something cool to know. I use it all the time. And then I'm going to go and make sure my box is activated. And I don't care that it's black right now, because as soon as I do that, it switches it. So it switches it out. Now, this is a horrible font. This is just their standard. I'm going to go with Helvetica, and I'm going to do Helvetica. I'm going to do this other Helvetica, which has more choices because I want condensed. And I wonder if the gray would, this lightish gray. So that works. I'm looking for contrast. Your type needs to contrast with the background, which means it needs to be enough of a difference that you can read it. So like one of those, like go up, like if you're designing on your laptop or get up and walk across the room. If you can see the text, you're good. If you can't, it's like too close. A lot of people, do that. Like here, if I did, let's select it all, and I change it to this darker clouds, you may be able to read that when it's on your computer and your face is 3 inches from it, but that type is too close in color to the background. And that's what we talk about contrast. And you may hear me say that like, oh, I love the design, but I can't read the text. And it's not that when I say that, it's not like I can't, mentally read the text. It's like, it's too hard. The contrast isn't there. You need to contrast that text and really make it pop. We need to be able to read that. You're designing for information. That's why you become a graphic designer. And so all your information needs to be able to be read well. This is standard. This would work. It's a little bit, I don't know. It's got a lot of gaps, but that happens sometimes. I guess you could leave it. I don't always don't find yourself always defaulting to this forced justified stuff. It's a little bit of a crutch, meaning, oh, it seems like it always works well, but then it's sort of like all the giant spaces within the text aren't always easy to read either. So there's so many little nuances that you could do. Like if I go back to this one, I can make it tighter in this way, which I can make the text a little bigger. Like I'm just kind of playing around. Oh, that was much better. And I like the flow. So there you go. You know how to do these. Play around. Have fun. Again, this shouldn't take you a ton of time. You know how to set up the documents. You know how to place the images. But now it's all about experimentation. Why is there 3? Because I want you to try 3 different designs. Like, what does it do? Again, maybe I'll just do one, just thinking like, I don't know, this is always like the odd one. Like, oh, if I take that and if I put it on its side and make it the whole length, you can do it. I'm going to tap it over. I'm going to use my arrow key and tap to the side, and then if I make this bigger. I was kind of hoping it would fit in a different way. I'm just, I'm thinking about what to do. Sometimes this is like, oh, I don't want it centered. I want it there. I could do that. Now I'm gonna grab the John Steinbeck, and I'm just hitting Option now. Option, it just allows me to copy it freely. Shift will constrain it. I mean, it's like some of the #1 tools I use all the time. Oh, I'm gonna do this. There we go. But I want something different. Oh, you know what? I'm fretting over the type. Let's just do this. I'm going to go zoom out a bit, get it centered. I'm going to go to my background. I'm going to make a new background, but I'm going to do like the dark gray that they have on this. So I'm going to zoom in. Oh, look, the guys are purple actually. So you could do purple. I'm going to do the darkest shadow. And then the body copy, I'm just going to have a block of it. And again, I'm keeping my distance from everything. And then, so I have the body copy. I'll keep this font. Copy, paste. I got to make it smaller. There's text missing. It's this little plus that you see there. That means that there's more text and it's missing. So we just reduce until that goes away. Now I'm doing both the size of the font and the leading. Again, that leading is how much space is in between the lines. You can crank it. Sometimes that looks really cool. Here I want the space, and I want to make sure I get all my text in. You should never go negative. Never do that. You know, like negative meaning it's a smaller number for the leading than it is for your type. It should never do that. There's a rule of thumb, and I'll show you, is that the low part of the letter should never cross over the tallest part of the high part of a letter. So they should never meet. If I pull a line right there, that's the closest I should ever get those, is that. If I go one more, where'd it go? Now you can see that there's going to be overlap of this Y. If I draw, you know, if I go straight, it's overlapping those. And here it is. You know, like those should never overlap. So that's the general rule of thumb, is the closest you ever want to get is that. For me, I generally say, I usually, for comfort, will do 2 higher. So if I have my font is 11, I'm comfortable at 13. Or I could go narrower if I wanted to, but I generally start like just a basic rule of thumb. It allows for easy reading, easy manipulation, and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. You know what to do from here on out. Have some fun. Play around. Try different things out. See what you can do. Remember, the biggest one is making sure that you leave enough gap in between all the parts and pieces. Like now that I see this, I should make John Steinbeck smaller, and it should line up directly with the copy there. So now I'll make this and just make it smaller. There you go. Now it has that perfect, look at that perfect line right down there. That's great. That's what I'm talking about. It makes an invisible corridor. Like so many optical, kind of like optical illusion and these things happen that help guide the eye. And this totally does. If I have that there, that's just like that just tells me, if I read Of Mice and Men and John Steinbeck, like that just leads me down, which is a good thing because we read from the top down. So awesome. Keep it up. Experiment. Try new things. All right. Design mission. This one. About the illustrations. This is a 2-parter. This class and the next one. You're going to be doing the objects in the displays. I'm going to call it displays. And then you're going to be doing the background later. So objects and then backgrounds. And these actually come from the Milwaukee Public Museum. So they had some displays, and I was viewing them. I was there, and I was like, oh, those are really cool. Oh, those are probably done in Illustrator. Oh, I think I should teach my students, like, they're so geometric and so cool. Like, it's so easy to do, but it looks really complicated. So I took a picture of it, and I rebuilt them, and now you're going to rebuild them. So first off is we're going to start with 4 animals. So you're going to do a polar bear, a whale, I forget what the name of that whale is, some puffins, and a salmon or a fish. And they're all in the same files. We're just going to download. And I didn't realize they're building a new building not too far, and I can see it from my window. And I asked somebody today, I'm like, what's that new cool building going up? And they're like, dude, that's the new public museum. I was like, oh, I didn't think that thing would be ready for like 10 years. So kind of funny. It is so close to us now. And then I used to have it. So 4 images, right? All the colors are here for you. We're including gradients for once. This is what they look like. You'll be doing strokes and gradients. It's easier than you think. You're going to be using the shape builder tool, maybe sometimes the pen tool. This is going to bring it all out. But I want you, again, to think about this as basic shapes. And when there's not a basic shape, you're just going to use the pen tool. So let's break this down and start working on it. I'll start with the bear. Now the bear, again, is just parts. We have a shape, a shape. We have some overlapping shapes. And that's all we got to kind of like think about. How can I break this down? You start wherever you want. Let's see here. I'm going to click this to this just to see. We can do one full oval. We have some lines, and yeah, let's break it apart. I will trace. I'm going to first do what I call like the biggest shape. I'm going to take the pen tool, and I'm going to start down by its toe, and I'm going to click and drag. I click and drag. Then I'm going to click, and because this is a straight line, I'm not going to drag, but I can hold shift to make sure that that line goes perfectly straight up and down. Now I have a straight area here, so I'm not going to click and drag, but I'll just go to the straight area. And now I'll pick a spot on its back and click and drag. And remember, I'm going to come back and fix anything. Maybe I'll put one here, click and drag. One here. Now I got that thing going on where now I can't see because I have white as the fill. So without doing anything, I should be able to just click over here, click on no fill, and I'm going to do the stroke to make it magenta and crank it so everybody can see it. And look, I did those changes and I can still draw. And then I'm just going to close it out at the bottom. And now with the direct select tool, I'll click on some items and just be like, oh, I want to adjust the curve on its back to make it a little bit nicer. And then just I pulled up on this foot too high. It should kind of like straighten out. And that's all I did for this. Now I can add in this hind leg. The hind leg can be one of 3 things. It could be a rectangle with a circle attached. You can draw it with the pen tool. I'm going to do a rounded circle. So I'm going to take a rectangle and make a rectangle. I'm going to then rotate that rectangle until its angles are perfect. Set that in. Now I'm going to pull. I'm going to just make it as wide as it needs to be. Then I'm going to make it as tall as it needs to be. I'm going to make sure I'm a little bit past on the bottom. I didn't mean to grab that. So we get it all set up. Because I'm fine with this stuff hanging out here. Now, with these squares, which we've taught before, is it leaves these little things in there. Let me change my color from green to burgundy. So those little dots, when I click on that dot, it will round the corner. And for this, I just need to do that. Now I can zoom out, and because I want this shape and this outer shape, all I need to do is grab both shapes, take the shape builder. I want to click here. I want to click here, and I want to click here. And that tells the computer that I want to separate out those 3 pieces, which allows me to delete that. And then now this is its own piece, and this is its own piece. It's all just kind of about building and cutting out. What do I need? What do I not need? And we're going to go back and forth. Turn off that image, look at certain parts. This is a stroke. But what I'll do is I'm going to build this shape that goes up to its nose. I'll go up. Well, let's do this pill first. When I say pill, like and you pull a guide when you need it. I want the top of that, and it comes to here, and I'm going to just pull a rectangle to there, to the edge. And then again, when I grab that, I get the shape that I need. Easy. And that overlays. This should be on top. I don't need to cut out that other part if I don't want to, because I can bring it to front. If you want to, you can then select those and then do the shape builder and then isolate this, and then these two become one. And there you go. I'll draw this curve that goes up. And again, this is like where you can get, I don't want to say sloppy, but you can just hide parts. Click and drag, and then all the way up to its nose. And then I'm just going to go beyond the item. Now I only need this part, so I can select everything and then go and say, go to the shape builder and think, I can delete this piece, I can delete this piece, and this piece should be alone. All right, so I clicked on them. I can delete this piece. Oh no, it cut it out of there. Oh, I cut it out of there. I don't want to do that. So that's separate. I don't want to do what I just did. So in that case, oh, I did. Oh, I Command Z'd. I will keep it and just send that part to the back. So instead of me worrying about cutting it out and having it be, or let's see. Yeah, let's see if I can do it. Maybe it will do it. I want that piece. Then if I have this, oh, it did work. So I just tapped. So I'm saying, like, sometimes experimentation. Every week I'm learning new stuff. Like what can I change? That took me a second. And all I did was just tapped on the one I wanted and left everything else alone, and I could delete that. So now, like, I'm still working. I have these shapes that are all individual shapes. Like I said, I've been doing this for, 30-some years. I'm still trying and learning new stuff and be like, what if I do this? What if I try that? We go up into its head. Oh, I'll do these little lines. These lines, you start on the edge. No. I'll start past. I can always move it in. And then we're just going to change colors. I'm just doing it in these so you guys can see what I'm doing. And then I can cut those off, adjust them. So I'm going to take the smallest one, click on that anchor point and bring it in. Click on this anchor point and bring it in. We have a swooping one. I'm just going to click. So the bear is made up of, what, 10 shapes or something like that? Then I go back and I do that little tool and move it up in here. Think of the head, divide it by 2. All right. Only do half the head if you want. And then you mirror it. So if it starts as a circle. We know that. Perfect circle. Now, if I grab just the point on that circle and I delete once, it gives me half a circle and leaves it open. You know, you can do that, or you can leave it as a circle. If you want to, you add the ear, straight line, curve, curve, straight, not straight line, but you go in and you make this ear perfect. It's a little wonky. Zoom in, get things exactly how you want, because you're in control, not the computer. I don't like how abrupt that is. Let's go, there we go. Now for that, I need the ear on the other side. You can just hit copy, paste, go underneath the rotate tool to the reflect tool, double click on that, it automatically flipped it, hit OK, and bring that other ear over. So that's all you need to do. The nose is a pill with a heart in it, which is 2 halves. Do the eye. I just want to keep moving. So that's all we're doing. Weird shapes, weird lines, like this one. All right. Start with its tail. Switch to the whale. Oh, and then for coloring, you guys know how to do it. Everything is here. Even the gradient swatches. So you can click on the bear. And if I do the eyedrop tool and the gradient, now the gradient went the wrong way. If you click on the gradient tool, which is this one, this is gradient tool, you can then go over and change things. I can flip this around this way and then move it, and it changes that. I should turn off this. I can adjust these. There's all sorts of items you can do. You just kind of have to get close, and like, so the rotate is only on one side, but you have to be like precise with it. And then it allows you to rotate it, which way do I want it? You can move these in and out. All these color areas, you can move them. So the way to get to that, again, is if you have the shape, and if you eyedrop like the color, and then you go to gradient, it will show up. And then that's the gradient adjustment bar. The square side, there's a square side and a round side. And they each kind of do different things. Oops. And it gets a little funky. If you click in the wrong spot, it will do weird stuff. Gradients are, just the gradient bar in general is a little bit like touchy. It's all, you can deal with it, you can work with it. Just be kind of slow with it. Don't like do 7,000 clicks and be like, why isn't it working? Just kind of like, for the most part, it's going to be, you should be able to just simply eyedrop it and then possibly rotate it. I tried to keep it very simple. All right, let's do the whale. The whale, what is that? What is this? This is a circle cut out. Let's go back to my no fill, my stroke, magenta, 4 points, you can see it. I didn't hold down shift, as you can tell. I'm going to rotate this. And we just need to get 1, right? And then we can cut it up. What do? I'll do a rectangle. Get that to the right angle. It's two shapes. There you go. And we go shape builder. Click on that middle. Oh, I gotta have them both selected. Shape builder. Click in the middle. That's all I need. And I can delete this, delete that, and then flip this. Copy paste. Should be able to flip it. So it flipped it properly, but because it's on an angle, it seemed a little weird. So all I have to do is rotate it then. And there we go. It's the same shape on each side. For drawing the whale itself, it's going to be freehand pen tool, except for the circle and the square here, which makes up the fin. But I would draw where you see a different color, draw a different shape. So for like the pen, for this, you can follow the arc of the whale. And you can, go past, because you can cover that when you build your other parts, or the body of the whale. And close that up. Then we go in and we adjust our lines, get them to get real nice and smooth and perfect. The longer you pull those arms, the smoother the line will be. But then you have to make sure they're in distance from each other. Proper distancing. Do adjustments. Sometimes it's very subtle. Come around. So like that's the body of the whale. And then for the head, it's just 3 parts. And then some lines. So it's click, click and drag, click, click and drag, click, click and drag. And then it's a big swoopy up to a mouth. Now that isn't quite perfect, but that's fine. I just go to that adjustment and pull only the one handle. Now this little pointy, you can go to stroke and just round those. Then it's not so bad. For the eyeball, it's just pen tool. You can start big again, like start beyond. And then do this. And then what do we do? Well, I'll draw all 3 and we'll shape builder it. That shape builder, like it's such a great tool for like, you just kind of overlap all your shapes. Got to remember where your shapes are, of course, like what's doing what. And then you just start cutting them out. So I want, if I start here with those 2 pieces, I want to delete this little cheek. So I should be able to, again, let's see. No, I want these to become 1. That's it. I want those to become 1. Now, if I grab the head part and the mouth part, I want these to become 1. Head part and eyeball, I want these to become 1. And then I'll separate out all. I'll do, actually, you know what? I'm just going to send that to back. I just want the head to be separate. I don't need to actually build all around it. So there's your whale. And then you add some strokes, some lines in that color. All your colors are right there. The puffin, again, these are all the same build processes, just repeating. Here's the weird part. You're gonna be like, oh, the puffin. Oh no, this wing is this wing. All right. So like when you're like, I got to do, it's the same guy. So you only have to do it once. And I'll prove that right now. So I'll go to puffin. And I, do the first one, straight line, curve, straight line. And I add my little extras. Straight line, curve, end. Straight line, curve, end. Now this shape, all I have to do is bring it over and flip it. Horizontal, there you go. Horizontal flip. Hit OK. So they look like two different puffins. It's the same one. Just the wing is separate. So you just build little shapes again. Start with this, beak. It's all very simple, straight lines, little angles. And there's a lot of, tight areas, but it's all just overlaps. If you draw this for like this white part. Oh, I need to curve that. So I need to curve this right here. You can just pull that. There you go. So that's a better curve. And then I know where that is. And then I can just build out the beak. I can do it in a bunch of ways. This is one of the better ones. It goes up to there. I think I do the big, you do the big beak. And then you do the color bars. I have to make the stroke a little bit less. Let's complete. I'm going to complete the beak. Like complete it, just make it a full shape. And then I'll come in and do these lines. But let me reduce this from 7,000 points size. So then I'm just going to go in and click and drag. And then this one, you only have to do it once. Because it's just the three parts. And then this one eventually goes in, this blue one goes in the blue. So if I grab these two and I go to shape builder, I want the front of the beak. I want the yellow beak. And I should be able to delete that, delete that, delete that, and delete that. So now I have this shape. I have this shape. This shape is big, but I needed to grab this other section. Grab those. And I simply want to click and say, I want that as a shape. Everything else can go away. I get rid of that. And now I have the blue shape. So I did the beak very simply. And it's just using that shape builder. That's all this is. You need the, you draw the puffin itself. And then for this tan area, it's just a square, rotated, and then you shape build it. Get that angle perfect. And then you can shape build that. It's done. You don't have to sit there and try to draw a shape. It's starting to cut things out and be like, where can I cut things out of in order to create what I need to create? So for this one, you create the body of the puffin, and then you create one wing, and then you copy the wing and you move it down, put it on top. The fish. Again, super simple. But here's the fun part. You got fins. Just click, 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 click. But Joel, what do I do about the pattern? You just click on it. I have the pattern built as a fill. Isn't that cool? So, and then, oh, there's something I can't remember. For this, let's see. You can rotate the pattern. Now, this is the one I don't remember. If I rotate this, pattern stays. But if I do the E, no, there's a way. And it's eluding me. Every once in a while, I get stumped. Well straight. And it's like one click. All right, I have to look it up. Oh, why am I doing that? So I literally just looking up, rotate the fill pattern in Illustrator. Spelled it wrong. Hold down. Select the object, activate the, and hold down the tittle key.
Where's that at?
Well, let's find it. Okay, select the object, select the rotate tool, activate the rotate tool. Well, that's what I hadn't done. And then the tittle key is, do I have one?
Above tab.
Oh yeah, you're right. There you go. That is so cool. You just get the line up. So it's the little swoosh key above the tab key. Thank you for seeing that sooner than I. Then I wonder, so is this where it gets easy? You do one, and then look, when I build the other ones, it remembers to keep it at that angle. And if that one are like, oh, I want that cleaned up, rotate tool, the little tittle key, swoosh key, and then you rotate it out. So rad. That's really the, like, that's the big one right there. It's like, what do I do there? You're going to be dealing with outlines for the first time. So remember, there's going to be a stroke. And then for these dots, these are just, you've done this so many times. You know what I mean? Like, it's a dot. It's this color. Zoom in. And it's just, you just step and repeat. As soon as you get one, you get it exactly the right size. Shift and Option. And then Control D. Command D. Command D. Bonk, 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 bonk. And I do extras. Because I, you know, do more than you need. Because there's one here and there's one there. You know, like, you want them all the way across. So I have more than I need in a row. Pull them back. Then I just grab all those. So all these are grabbed. Not the other stuff. And then I just grab them all. Shift Option up. You never have to make all of them. You only have to do it once. And then you delete what you don't need. And then for these little ones, you use the special tool, the special circle cutter, the Pac-Maner. I only need that much of that one because there's going to be a stroke in front of it, you know? Delete, yeah, I don't need that one. I don't need that one. That one shows a little bit just to make sure. Open it up. There you go. There's a lot, but not a lot going on. everything we've done, you've done before. Think back to using the pen tool with the Phoenix project, copying and pasting for the first two projects. It's all the same kind of muscle memory. It's just like shift option, dragging and moving. Like there's only so many like crazy things, but it's all doable with very few tools to create what you need to create. The shape builder is the great one. Play around with it. The other part is if you get to a point and you're like, I don't know, just take that one and move it away. Like, I can't figure out just move it away and try again. Or like take the pieces like this worked, this was working, but I messed up that. Then just take what you have and delete the rest and then continue to work. I say that because sometimes we get stuck on trying to fix what isn't working, and we spend an hour on that rather than simply quickly redoing it. Because we think I already have time invested in what I've done. I need to fix it. Well, sometimes it's just better to just hit delete and start new again, because every time you start new again, you are actually going to learn something new, and the outcome's going to be a little different. You're like, oh, wow, I'm glad I did it again, because this time I thought of it a little bit different way and it turned out better. I rarely do something a second time and don't think it's better than the first time. And a lot of you say that, you probably never do that. I had something so messed up, like there was a glitch. Oh, I talked about a student had this glitch, but I had the glitch where Illustrator wasn't working right, and it was in the file itself, the bug. No matter what I did, I even tried like copying and pasting everything out into a new file, and it would, whatever the bug was holding on, and so I had to rebuild. But the second time I rebuilt it, it was a simpler. The design was simpler. Things went smoother, and it took me a half the time because I knew what I wanted, and it was just easier for me to do that. So if you get into these frustrating situations, just delete it, start over, delete part. It's not, don't bang your head on trying to fix something. Just try again. Try again. I think you'll do things much faster that way. Yeah, I think the only new thing is copying that pattern and holding down the little swoosh key, the tittle key above tab next to the 1. So, but yeah, feel free, reach out. Use that midweek session review if you need to. I'm here today until 2. I'll have somebody be here a little bit later. I have a meeting. And then I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays all day. I'm here on Wednesday for your class. So any problems, I'm around for help. Just do them one at a time. You do 1 animal per day. That's all you got to do. Sit down. I got to do 1 animal per day. Easy peasy. All right. Let me know if you have questions, comments, or concerns. And that's it. I will talk to you on Wednesday if I don't talk to you on the discussion boards. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.